Hi everyone, welcome to this live stream. I am now very happy to introduce you to all a very, very good friend of mine, which more than friend, I consider her a sister, who I had the opportunity to meet in Egypt last trip. And it was a beautiful encounter. Like those magical ones that it's so common for you to experience them in Egypt. We were in the gas station, in a gas station. Each one was doing their own tour with their own groups, because she also leads groups to Egypt, brings groups to Egypt. And I will tell you a little bit more about what she does in a bit. But anyway, she was with her group. I was with my group, with our group, and then I was there outside of the store, the market, because in every gas station there is a market. And I was there outside waiting for the group, and then I feel this beautiful energy coming towards me, and I see her, and we shared a few encoded words of recognition. And after that, we harvested and developed a beautiful connection that has led us to co-create a couple of things. This is one of them. So Diana, as I was saying, she, because that's her name, has a school where she teaches dance, like all this Arabic dance with very specific fusion of many, like, let's say, ancient cosmologies. And through that inner journey through dance is that she connects with the sacred feminine, among many other techniques like channeling, like going deep within the body through that dance. I will allow her to express more about what she does, explain a little bit more to you guys. Who better than she? So, but before bringing her into the stage, I just want to say that thank you for being here, Diana, with me. And let's open this beautiful topic and journey to Egypt, where we encountered with one another.
Yes, hello everyone, and I remember this beautiful time with so much energy and feeling, because it was a pure recognition when in the middle of nowhere. You just see the eyes of another person. You don't know anything about the life, about where are you from, what you're doing in your life, but you feel that you need to be connected. I would like to say sorry for my not perfect English, because English is not my native language. So if I will make some grammar mistakes or whatever, please, I'm sorry. I will do my best to express everything what's happened with us, and to share the knowledge, technologies, and some kind of experience which we faced in Egypt and in other sacred places, maybe not even only in Egypt. We can speak about many places, because we're living here in Russia, in another part of the world. And of course, we have here our own places of power. So if you will have a question, guys, you always can ask, and I will share my experience of being here. And I would like to say thank you as well for everyone who finds the time to discover, say, sacred femininity, because for me, it is a target of life to help for women. I'm working with women most of the time to help them open their femininity, their sacred femininity, their real face of femininity, which is not only to be super nice, calm mother and wife, but also to be the wild, pure energy, to be connected with kind of Kali in your, or Isis or Sekhmet, as a power which can making their life, the creating of life, but from another part of this power. We very connected with another part which is about destroying, about the death, even I can say. Why? Because only the women can give the birth of people, yeah, of another human. So she is also very connected with another part about destroying, but it is necessary to be connected with this kind of super energy, which we very often scare of, and try to not to show off, to be shamed from it, to be, like blocked from it. And I can see how very big destroyment in the heart of the women happened because of this idea that it's possible to be some correct women, some correct femininity, and another one is like it's incorrect. So my main target is to help women in the world to be how they are, to discover their nature. And we say the correct is how is your way, only your way is correct. So this is what we discover from very different point of view and instruments. And my main instrument, as you said, is sacred dance, and this tradition with me already 14 years. We have big school here. We have more than 400,000 women in the world who is practicing this sacred dance. And you can also try this, guys, if you want. It's open, it's on YouTube. The only one problem, it's in Russian. But I think we will make it in English as well. I already thinking about it. Yes.
Well, thank you. That's wonderful. And that's a lot of beautiful. It's mostly women, right? Because
Yes.
that's one of the things that I mean, extending on many of the things that you just said. But
Only
of
women.
course, it's like it's the feminine energy, and now so that people who is also men, know that it's about the feminine energy. So it would be beautiful, to open up to for men also to experience that level
Yes.
of connection, because I do feel that that's one of the steps that it's very important to transcend, regarding of your sexual preferences. You're capable to embody the feminine energy even if you're a man, because you have it.
Of course.
So if women have, because you were saying now about all these feminine archetype of what you must be. and how it has marked a very evident limitation in between the women being capable to follow their true voice, who they
Mhm.
truly are, or settling in order to be part of, to feel part of, to be accepted. So throughout that process, a lot of women have fallen for their masculine energy, and then just embodying, like 90%, even if they're women, embodying the masculine energy as part of this evolution, like moving from poles and all that recognition that the humanity is going through their own sexuality. So if women have gone through that masculine aspect, through that masculine energy, I do see that men as well. So, but may it not only that be linked to their sexual preference, as I was saying, just because you are a man, regardless what is your preference, just to open up to that feminine energy, I think that could change the world,
Mhm.
from a psychological aspect, from an archetypical aspect. I do feel and do know that that would change the world, because it would help us to connect at a deeper level and understand each other at a deeper level.
You know what is interesting? That it last few months, I have so many requested from the men that they want to try is a sacred dance. They all said to me, Diana, why it's only for women? It's a time for us. We also want to feel. We also want to wake up this part of us which is have bright intuition, which can see through the like through the other dimensions. We want to know, we want to relax our body, to feel our body, to release our sexual energy, to know how to rule this energy. And when it was the first one, I saw like, it's weird. Why you guys coming here? It's only girls. Then it's second, third, and many. And I have now students who is also now already the masters of the dance, so they have their own group, and they all say to me, Diana, we have a lot of requests from a men and they want to practice dance. So what I'm working also now on is to see how we can change it maybe a little bit, but they can, so they can practice it as well. And for sure, I believe that there is no difference. I mean, like the man energy or women energy is just an energy. And you can work with men and women energy, like just with a pure energy. But after it, it's like when it's become more material, it's form like men or women, because we have the body of men or women. But the energy is energy. It's important to live your own way. Doesn't matter in which body you are. I mean, sometimes you have the women who has very bright energy, and some people will say, oh, it's a masculine energy in her. For example, me personal, I'm not a classic woman who is can just stay at home, cook, and be with babies. It's a beautiful part of the life. I tried to do my best, but I'm not succeeding in it, like I am, it's not enough for me. I want to do other things. And I have now big school, I have company, I like to rule. I'm working also here in Russia like a TV host, and I like this activity. I feel alive when I'm in this activity. And if somebody comes to me and say, listen, Diana, you are not a feminine because you're doing this, I will say, okay, then I'm not feminine, but I am who I am. So all the instruments which I practice and which we will talk today about, it's instruments which is helping you to connect with your real energy, with your soul, with your spirit, with that parts of you in another dimension who you are really. And there we're union, you know, at the highest dimension we all one. So it's important for me to see, yeah, I have here body and here I'm a woman. So I want to live this life like a woman and I want to see the difference. But I also remember that it is just a pure energy. And for me, the most important is not to betray who I am without this idea of how I should be or must be in the life.
Yeah, yeah, you covered like a big topic, which is, you know, um, when we are given the choice of how we are going to live our lives, and like for women and men, like the roles that we and tasks that we should fulfill. When I talk about, for instance, let's say that um, feminine energy, like being capable to create, because if we see the feminine aspect is the vessel, you know, the masculine energy, like even the potential and kinetic energy, the masculine being the kinetic energy at a quantum physics level, and the feminine being that potential energy. So both, the purpose is for them to come together and create, create
Yes.
together. So what you were describing about yourself, as far as I'm concerned, has nothing to do with, masculine energy. It is actually, I do believe that due to trying to keep on framing, putting what it
Yes,
is,
yes.
you know, then it's like defining in order to control. Yet actually, all those amazing things that you are doing, yeah, like I can see both of your energies like very balanced, as one, like what you were saying, one energy. Speaking of which, I love what you're doing. And for
Thank
instance, the
you.
the house that you have opened, we will get to the Egypt trips, because then we will open up to other topics. You
Mhm.
know, uh, that was one of the reasons why we connected. All these
Yeah.
ancestral consciousnesses that, yeah, a beautiful way to remember. But anyway, so what you're doing right now regarding to the house that you opened for women, the groups that you are creating, can you share with us a little bit about that?
Yes, sure. Especially that it's like the baby of Egypt trip. It's a product of Egypt trip. Once I was there the first time, it's opened there for me a lot of information. And when you're in such a sacred places, you can have the very pure connection with your soul, with your spirit, and then you receive an information which was not before for you open. So when I first time was in Egypt, it was amazingly deep, and to be honest, it's like driving you crazy a little bit because you even don't expect that it's possible some things like this. I mean, the level of speed of reopening new and new and new level, it's unbelievable. And there, first time I saw the symbol of organization, which I have to create it. At the time, for sure, I didn't have it. I was like, I felt it. I felt it from many years, the idea, but I couldn't to really form it. And the idea was to create a space, safety space for women where they can unify. But it's not just a crisis, anti-crisis center where you can come, like if you have some violence at home, and the places where you can be saved. Of course, we have like this in Russia, and I think other countries have something like this as well. But this is other idea. It's a project which we call Women House, and this is in fact the women temple which we had from before, but now we don't have this space because it is the place where women can connected, can unify, can be in the pure women energy and practice sacred dance or other knowledge. And the most important, it's the places where the women can be with the women. You know, in Russia, we have this special doll which called matryoshka. It's one doll and another doll and another doll and another doll. It's actually how we look like in different dimension, but it also, for me, is a symbol of women power because we become more powerful when we are together, when we unify. And I believe that the women's strategy of leadership in a new age, like a new era, it's to unify. It's not try to conquer. It's not try to show like I'm stronger, I'm smarter, I'm more beautiful, I'm younger, but unify. Because when we are together, we increase each other. Like when we talk, we can share our pain, but we can share also our experience, we can share our happiness. That is why when we stay with friends, with our girlfriends, we can speak all the night, we can talk all the night, and we will not even wake up because we didn't sleep, but we are full of energy because we recharge. And this is what was open for me in Egypt, the power of this connection, and some instruments of sacred dance as well, of course. So the project was born from very spiritual trip, but this is a topic which I also wanted to talk with our auditory to show that when we are coming to sacred places, when we are coming to the temples, we receive a lot of information, and we also receive capacity and like superpower. In fact, we become like a supermans because you can see through their physical things, you can read their minds of people, you can see future, you can read the information from the space, all these like superpowers, which is normally we don't have. But after your spiritual experience with instruments, with channeling, with what you're doing, I know how it's worked because I tried it on myself with the sacred days, or when you're traveling on the sacred places, you have it like the super booster. It's waking up there. Or if you already have it like it's already wake up in you, it can increase. But when you receive all the sources of knowledge, of energy, you receive the superpower with a super responsibility of this power. Because it's given for us not to enjoy for ourselves only. Of course, it's very cool when you know where it's the best way to move, where is the shortest way to move, how you have to behave in your life. But all this, it's not just for your ego to enjoy. And I believe that the superpowers and super capacities is given for us when we're ready to carry these responsibilities and when we're ready to make it serve for people. So that's why all what I have and all what I open in myself now is recreating for humanitarian project, like I hospitality project. I creating this women house to help for women. And on top of it, I will tell you, like the my first Egypt showed me the idea, the symbol, and the name, but I didn't know how I will make it. But at my last trip, when I was very connected with me in other dimensions, I start to ask some questions like how I can make it. I don't know because it's a big money to invest, to create a big house, to have people who is working there, etc. And the answer was given to me that Diana, you already have everything. just look
Mm.
around. You have the house of your family. You have the house which was built from your grandfather 5 generations ago. And now this house is empty. Nobody living there, and it's only my mom and me who is owning this house. And I was so, like, dumb, that I couldn't understand that actually I already have everything. So a few days ago we officially opened the Center of Women, the idea, the presentation of it. And I will create it on my land where I was born, in the city where I was born. And it was so beautiful. When I saw what I have to do, I was crying, because it is so beautiful, the connection through the generations. Like, I felt like my grandfather, my grandfather, all my family, they like given to me this opportunity, like, Diana, you have the dream, and we will help you through these ages, we will help you. And this is amazing. And the idea why I'm talking about that, of course I can tell you a lot of fantastic stories what I have from feeling the connection with Isis or Hathor, or myself from other dimensions. But all this is not just to hear the beautiful stories, or not just to be super powerful in life. It is to serve others, because any power is given us with a responsibility from this power. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for everything that you are doing. And I agree. Uh, Big power comes with big responsibility, as you said. And we normally, well, in my experience, the knowledge that we are being given, I couldn't see myself just using it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I do act as much as I can first in the required coherence with myself, like not just words and then helping people to embody the words that I say, yet going through myself first. So, for instance, with your beautiful example, what you have said, because a lot of, like, for most people, the answer to what they came here for remains veiled for a while. Like, I know a lot of people that has gone through a lot of processes, and they are still wondering what's their purpose, what's their mission here, you know and the thing is that when we know it from early stages of our path, it's a bliss. It's something to be very
Mm-hmm.
grateful for, you know
Yes.
because everything comes in the perfect moment. So, for instance, in your case, that you have been several times to Egypt, and each time your connection with your codes there have been opening up your memories to your mission. What I want to say, everyone, is that perhaps you need to go physically to a place, perhaps you don't. What is important for me, and from my experience, is to recognize my consciousness expanded to many places, not just where I am sitting at. Perhaps in this lifetime, I chose to be born in Mexico and then be living here and there and there. But that doesn't limit who I am or what my soul has experienced. It's my
Mm-hmm.
responsibility to go deep within and feel which land from the whole world is calling me. And
Yes.
based on that, if I have the opportunity to go physically, go for it. If at some point I rather connect energetically with the place, then if the connection is very strong, let's imagine, because you were talking about a field like the matroshka, like we're multidimensional, so we have many layers. It's like an onion. So
Yes.
throughout those layers, um, each one of those layers is already connected, and being there in Egypt, in Ireland, in Peru, in Japan, in Russia, the United States, like pick Hawaii, you know. And when I believe it, that I have the power to connect with that information, even if I am sitting here right now in Mexico, I can do that. And Diana was also talking about connections, like the connection with oneself, which is the most important, with ourselves at different levels, and also with other beautiful consciousnesses that have mastered very specific knowledge. And if we are capable to recognize those codes of those consciousnesses, of those places, of Egypt, the pyramids, the temples, the sand, the air, like living it, then I'm capable to awaken it within me. Because that's what happens, like let's go into one of those moments that you and I have been, perhaps not together, but in Egypt. And there you are, stepping barefoot with no shoes on the sand, and you're feeling the silky texture of that sand, the air, the humidity sometimes of that air, or the other way around, so dry, but it's air and running through your face, and you smelling the humidity of the temples, or
Mhm.
feeling inside the humidity of the pyramid, and your voice echoing in every cell within you. That what happens is that the information inside of you in your DNA is awakening from that sleeping beauty dream and saying, wow, I have been here.
Yeah.
Ooh, a vision. What was that about? Oh, okay. This is too much for my ego. Like, and all those processes. And that can happen physically and non physically. So, what's one of the most beautiful things that you could share with the audience about what you have experienced there in Egypt that has marked your life, besides what you have already said?
It's almost impossible to say only one because
I
each
know.
step in this land, when you are in a process, it's full of this energy, what you're talking now, full of like pure magic of life. And I can talk about it hours and hours, but let's say the one which is really like for me something very special, some piece of honey. It's when the ISIS temple was calling us. How it's happened? We didn't program to go to ISIS temple at one of the trip. We programmed to go to Hathor temple, but not to ISIS temple. But I wanted to have practice of sacred dance before we entering of Hathor. And then our guide, he's calling us and say, guys, we can organize right now that you will have your practice inside of Isis temple right now. Turn the car and go there. And I was feeling like, oh my God, something going to happen there. And we just turned the car and went. and we danced. It was amazing. It was full of such a beautiful energy of women, wild, fragile, tender, love. All your centers was like recharging, opening, and we dance. And when we finished and go out, only after this I realized what's happened, and I say, "Oh my God, do you understand, my dear, beautiful goddess, what we make right now? We bring back the instrument of Isis, the instrument of priest from thousands years ago to the temple where it was burning. Like, because the sacred dance is a tradition which is linked with Egypt a lot, not only with Egypt, because in fact, sacred dance is a tradition which is exist in every land, but there it was like programmed with like a school, like a part of all the process of with Isis and Hathor and many others women goddess, not only women actually, even the process of initiation of pharaoh in pyramid was finishing with a dance. And I can say why, because the lives and matrix is really creating by the god. If you're in, for example, Indian tradition, you maybe heard that the Shiva is dancing, and this dance is a creating of life, and it's depend on which level we're looking, and we are can feel this connection with us through the sacred dance. So this dance is this temple which was not programmed but happened, and we bring back the tradition, the way how you can connect with the Isis with her like traditional way to do it. In this temple it was amazing. I was standing and feel, wow, this is not like even our personal beautiful moment. This is like historical moment because this dance was not practicing by thousands of years, and we bring it back there. It was
Hmm.
amazing, purely amazing. And also I could say that I have another one more personal experience which was for sure turning my life like just
Okay,
switch it off. Mm,
just before going to that,
yeah,
because I know that it will be opening up to another topic, which is
yes.
also yes. Keep it there. Keep it there. Uh, like going a little bit more
Yes, I
into
don't know.
what
My
you were
connection or your connection is not good. I cannot see.
okay. Is it good now?
Now I can see you.
Okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
now going to the one that you just said, the dance. I'm going to share like a very simple example for people that do not practice dance, or perhaps won't find it at the moment like very big of a deal, like just something to release stress, or just to have fun, which is part of it. But when we go into a deeper layer of what it is, I don't know if you are if you know about the Sufis, the monks. you
Yes, of
know
course.
now they are Muslims. Well, Muslims, they had to accept that religion, although they preserve their own beliefs. And the origin of this nomad uh, culture is not officially known. What I will tell you is where their knowledge comes from is from a very highly wise place. That's why, from their name, then it's very related to Sophia and to wisdom. So
Yes,
this Sufis monk have the dance of the Vriche. And this dance, they are wearing a skirt now, because before it was all white. But it is beautiful what the unconscious collective has picked up of the true nature of what they are doing, because now they wear all these geometrical patterned skirt. So when they are dancing, their skirt flies and they are a living geometry.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we are doing. One of the things that we are doing when we are dancing, we are opening up as Tauruses, our toroidal field, enhancing and harnessing the energy that is being produced from our geometrical body, from our source code, which you have yours. We all have, but you know what I mean. You know the translation of it. So, and you start expanding your field as this huge geometry, and the vortex that is being created at that moment, it can take you out of your consciousness out of the body partially, and you still spinning or dancing. And this is why a lot of branches have been coming out now from these ancient dances, like ecstatic dance, ecstatic dance, and you know, like you are going through like very on guide in a very unguided way, just following your heart and just dancing away, you know, and doing all this, you know, like without a very specific practice, just dancing away your emotions. And so that's the depth, one of the layers of how deep the dance goes. So what Diana was saying, you know, with these sacred dances, imagine like as that one or the African ones, the dogons, you know, bumping, boom, 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 all their chakras all
Yes.
the way to the ground, grounding, grounding, and emitting their field all the way to that soil, and bringing those celestial, those cosmic codes of the Syrians or of Isis or of Hathor, because Hathor was also very related to the arts, or your codes.
Yes.
You know, you're just being this toroidal field with which consciousness can go at such a deep level that you can restore very specific ley lines with doing that, because you're shaping the geometry of the place itself where you are at right now. Because imagine if you're a group, your consciousnesses are becoming united in order to create a whole geometry in the place, and pulsing it into the place, bringing it more alive, you know, making it more alive. So that's very powerful, very powerful.
Exactly.
No, no wonder it was taught in the ancient times. And this is something that we are now re-acknowledging, allowing ourselves to believe the importance of it, not just as, yeah, the tribes and their dances and their ceremonies and their, no, they had a huge knowledge of the
Exactly.
quantum, shamans, dancers, women dancing around the moon. Why do you think they had so much power? Not because they looked beautiful or because they looked sensual, you know, doing all those dances. That's just the superficial part of it. The profound part of it, it's the core of it, is that they were using their body to be that channel of those pristine frequencies to make the soil more beautiful, to expand those codes, to transmit them through their voices. So, having said this, I think this will be more
Exactly.
related to your second experience, right? About the voice.
You know, it is your explanation is perfect. Thank you. You are helping a lot because it's exactly what's happening. This sacred geometry is working when we are connecting with each other and dancing together. And on top of it, my last experience in Egypt, mm, it is fully connected with dance. And since it's my main instrument, it was given for me on the very high level. But what I can tell you now that it's possible to work through your body with the place. Like, I mean, you can be connected with a matrix, with a field, energetical field through your body. And why it is then the instrument, how you record it, decode it, because we are living in mm, like multidimensional places. It's not 2D, it's like 3D. And here it's not enough just, of course, it started with your mind, with your idea. But if you want to integrate it in this world, material world, you have to make it through your body. So the dance with a vocal cord, as you're correctly saying, it's in fact the way how you're working in this matrix and can do the change. And when I was experiencing it by myself, not for only me. So like the first step with the sacred dance is when you're working with your body, then with your emotional side, then with your mental side, then with your soul, your spirits. And after you pass all this, you can work with the field, like own field, like the our field, the field of our planet. And in fact, it's work as if you're like with a computer, you would have to write, yes, letters, so it's changing the code. So in fact, your body with your soul, when it is connected through your with your other dimensions, become in here like for your computer, the letter voice connected with your other parts can record, can change the code of their matrix. But to reach this level, you have to pass through all your ego problems, painful, the life, your life. Like it's really the very painful process. But if you want, you can reach it. And the dance is there. When I asked why it is in dancing written this code, they said to me, because this is the way how you can remember, like, and how you can keep it, and how you can perform it here in the land, like how you can show it through different ways, not only like layer. I don't know how to explain it in English very well, but I hope you understand me. Like in 3D word, not 2D word. I was like, wow. I didn't understand at the beginning when I start to practice sacred dance that it can be so powerful and that it's so important here. And you explained perfectly that it's really connected everywhere in a very different tradition. And our national dancing, which we have in now in each country, in fact, the base of our national dancing, it is a sacred dancing. And the sacred dancing, it is the connection with our real nature, our nature from other dimension, from the God. And my own experience, which when I was listening to you from your previous speech, I was like, wow, she's given the most important code of any sacred places. If you want to know how to reopen it, how to unblock it, it's just to feel your body, exactly what you're explaining. When you start to feel how it smells, how it's moved, you need to be connected with the body very well. And when you have this deep connection, then you know where to go, like what to do at this place, at this wall, or at this corner, how you can stand, what you can say. You can feel it, then it can go through you, but only if you really pay all your attention here precisely. And the moment which I wanted to share, it's happened with me in a pyramid. It was amazing. It was a moment when I recognized my real partner who is with me in another dimension, and he was there at the same time. And I was like, whoa, actually, he's just come inside of the room exactly in this moment, but I will not show you him. But it's like this. We was not expected this at all. It's just you asked me like what's changed my life. And of course, this has changed my life a lot because it was unexpected. We didn't even think that we can be connected with will happen with us at this moment, but it's just at the same time we felt, wow, we are a couple. We're a couple not only here, we're a couple everywhere. And this kind of recognition, it's something amazing. It's when you're at the moment feeling that you was loving this person all your life, and you will love him all your life, and not only this life. And it is something much more than you, much more than your ego, much more than your personal experiences this life, because this is the connection with your other parts. And this love from the human who is just next to you is opening the door there in other dimension. That is why I believe the experiences of the real partners here of life, and to like union of these real couples here now, it is very important for all the process of our civilization, because we are going now to the process of union consciousness, when it, which we say it in Russia, Христосознание, like
Oh,
the Christian
it's cutting out a
consciousness
little
is
bit.
something like this, you can translate it.
I'm
How you
sorry,
call it?
out. It's cutting out a little bit. You know, just when you were going to say, you know, that about the
Okay.
well, it cut out. So if you can repeat it again, please.
Yes, sure. It's called like the conscious of Christ, let's say. I think the translation is like
Yeah.
this in English. And this is what? It's when your heart is open, when your mind, when your soul is connected with others, and you can feel you're the one. And through the partner, through your real partner, you can feel this connection, because you feel the love not only from your ego, but from all the dimensions. And when you're meeting your real partner, you can feel the love from other dimension to him. And this is something which is not logical at all. Like you can know this person 5 minutes, but you will feel as if it is the love of your life. And this moment was amazing, because I was already knowing this person for some of this life, and I didn't feel it. So when it's open to me, I was like, oh my God, how it's possible? No. And it was a way before we like really union together. So yes, when you experience it, and you can even see same visions at the same time, like we were see each other, we saw each other from other our lives, other our dimensions in the same time. So these connections is something amazing, and it's something in what is hardly believed, like how it's possible, how you and me, we don't know each other, but we see our other lives. We see each other in other bodies, even not human bodies. So yes, for me, of course, it was one of the most like impressive and important part of our trips. But as I told you, each hour, each day, it's always happened there something incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
It's pure magic there, experienced at every moment. If you have your heart
yes,
open more than your eyes, it's about your heart, then you will get to see the magic. Otherwise, as reality itself everywhere can be overwhelming. When you have your heart open, you get to see the true magic within every experience that you're embodying there. And in relation to what you experienced, you know, and taking it into, for instance, these sacred teachings of Isis and Hathor, because um, I like I'm talking. We're talking about those two Neteru because they are the ones in Egypt mostly related to the feminine. You know, like to that capability of enhancing your creating force, through arts, which would be dance, chanting, painting, making love to life. That's how I see it. And to make love
Mhm.
to life, you need to have your heart open. And when you have your heart open, it's because you're not afraid anymore of
Yes.
someone or somebody or something erupting in your life, like coming all of a sudden and moving your floor. Yeah, perhaps there are fears, yes, but it's minimum. You have gone through all the process and showing enough braveness to actually say, like, hey, I'm here, you know um, I'm too tired to be afraid. It's like it doesn't worth it. It's like, I can put it in a scale, and I do believe I do choose to live free. So, and when you reach actually that point, again, it's not that you're going to be perfect, that you will be embodying like all the beauty in the world, like everything in synchrony and everything being given just here to you. Perhaps you will, because that happens when you have your heart open, believe me, and mostly when you are incoherent. And I do believe that all of us have even at least once experienced that. The thing is that when the difference in your life when you have your heart open is that your perception shifts, and that's how your scenarios shift, not the other way around, because then that's conditional love. Like, okay, you're having a beautiful life, okay, then now your heart is open and you're loving everything. The thing is to be heart open when you are experiencing a little bit of everything and going through that humble state of saying, hey, thank you. That is a mastery, like a needed thank you from the
Mhm.
bottom of your heart that echoes.
Exactly.
And I do believe that was one of the most profound teachings in the mystery schools, in the priestesshood or priesthood, how to surrender to your power, because the power in a thank you is humongous. A lot of people talks about what gratitude can do in your life. And if you truly, like, let's say, let's go into a not so spiritual level, let's go through frequencies, which is a spiritual, because again, everything is connected. I'm just talking, like in a very, um yeah, like, um because perhaps this might be a very spiritual approach for some people. But when we talk about in terms of frequency, if you put a scan on someone's electromagnetic field while that person is experiencing a lot of gratefulness, then that frequency is being permeated in their molecular structure of water. And that beauty is starting to and be emitted to their field and expanding and expanding and expanding. So, of course, you're going to shift your field if you're grateful or if you're feeling love, um, regardless what you're experiencing. Because now, if we go to that power, like the power given and the responsibility, which is a process of like of preparation, as we go through preparations to receive, as you already said, to receive that knowledge. So when you're going through that process of preparation and experiencing a lot of things, at least from my experience, like going through a lot of things, emotionally speaking, um, cognitively speaking, like, am I going crazy? Am I, like being selfish? Am I, like really losing it? Shall I just go with the flow like everyone does. But when you choose to go for your call, you know, and you choose yourself from what you're feeling deep within, then this alchemical process, that even though you go through the fullest spectrum of, like, what are beautiful things, not that beautiful things, very magical things, and so forth, then this alchemical process deep within starts to open layers and 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 layers, those layers that we were talking about, until you reach the core. So when you're being touched, to say it somehow, when you're being touched in those epic experiences as the ones that you have shared, is because you have done the homework. So then you receive that touch, and that touch is, how I say it, is like the movie Doctor Strange. Have you watched it? I'm sorry, you froze.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you have
Yes.
watched it. Okay. So when the
Yes,
teacher
yes.
touches him, like that, and he goes boom, and then all those layers and integrations, perhaps we are not aware and we are not seeing it, but that's going through, like that's going on. So what you're doing is that you're unifying yourself at such a deep level, then when you come back, you cannot be the same.
Exactly.
There's no way you will go back to the same. You can't. Even if you would try to, your soul is so expanded and your field that they won't allow that level of decoherence in your choices.
You cannot.
Yes. So I don't know why, but
Yes,
it's for
I
it,
absolutely agree, and I can tell you that sorry, it's so impossible to go through the spiritual level if you're not opening your heart, if you're not watching super super bravely to all the shit you've done on your life. And if you're not like really sincerely regret it, like if you don't have your heart full of gratefulness for people that even with all the shit you've done, they still loving you, they still choosing you, they still giving you everything you need in your life to be alive and to be happy. But only when you see it how it is, without trying to, like say, oh no, I'm not so bad, here I was right. No, if you did wrong things, if you betray yourself, if you betray other people, you must see it honestly, and then you will cry. Yes, it will like crush your heart, but it's crushed not your heart, it's crushed in reality, this, bones, these stones which you put on your heart. And that is why you cannot feel yourself. And I can tell you that in Egypt, there is a place exactly for the opening the heart. It's a place of Sphinx. If you've been there, you will feel it. It's exactly the place where your heart starts to be open, you start to cry, you just feel everything. And this is very special, magical moment, which for sure I will never forget in my life. I was just on my knees directly at the moment I am on of Giza, just stay next to him. We have our private session because now it's impossible to go inside of his legs, but we've go there at the time of equinox, exactly of the spring equinox, when the Sphinx watching and the horizon, and it's very connected of Hor, the son of Isis and Osiris. And at this time when the sun rising up, and you can watch the same what is he's watching, it's a perfect place and the perfect moment when your heart is just boom, it's opening, and you must be ready to feel at this moment all the pain which you cause for people, because at this moment you're changing. Your consciousness is not anymore like your own ego. It is a Christ consciousness. It is a consciousness of union. And since you feel unified with everyone, you feel all the pain which you cause to other people. And all this happening at the moment you are there. So be ready that it will be huge pain, but at the same time it's huge love for everything, for everybody, for each leaves, for each flower, for each step of each people in the world. And this is a necessary moment to open heart, to be how you can be, to feel who you can be, to receive all these codes, to become connected with other dimensions. It's like a test. If you're not passing, you will not feel. It's as if you're not, is your code cannot be connected there, because in other dimensions is different frequencies. It's not like here in our planet. And to be connected with these beautiful frequencies, you must vibrate on these frequencies. If you're not vibrating, and here we can lie to each other, we can do as if, no, I'm good, but I'm not good. But there it will not work. It just will not give you the connection. So, as you said correctly, all this happening, it's because we've done the home job. If it's not done, it will happen there, and it will be really very and very painful. And for sure we can see some part of all these betrays of our life, all where we betray ourselves of others. But some part your ego will not let you pass. Sometimes it's protected so well, it's keeping like this and say in telling you, no, I will not show you the truth because it's going to ruin your life. You will lose everything. You will destroy your life. Come on, we will not show you this. So for these special moments, for this special stuff which your ego is afraid of most, we are coming in this place because there the energy of love is so huge, is so powerful that it's destroyed like this. And why it's happened like this? Because inside of things it actually is a consciousness which is given, sacrifice a life for people. That's why this place is so powerful, and that's why this place your heart is opening. This is what I'm faced there, and it was like wow. And at the last Egypt session, we were there at the winter solstice with a group. Can you imagine at the moment when we was there? It was really, we have a picture of it. It was clouds with a symbol of eyes of Horus, and the
Mm.
Sphinx is very linked to her. And it was so beautiful sign. Like we have
Yeah.
this energy here. It appears, it's always also like if you want to know if it is you going crazy or it's really happening everything, all what you have in this spiritual level, it will show and perform in material level somehow, but you will see it in material level, like the connections, the signs, something will happen that you will understand, okay. It is here, because when it is how, like when it's happening in their tiny world, it will perform in material world. Maybe not immediately, maybe with the time, but you will feel it in reality. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you to remind me about this beautiful moment. Always feel goose skin when I remember about it.
It's I agree. Actually, there is a method that is related to Melchizedek. I don't know if you're aware of Melchizedek. Okay, so he
Yeah.
talks about the the heart sphinx, which is a key that opens your heart. You
It
know,
is.
so and very coherent to what all that we have been saying, because if you if your heart is not open, you can have a really bad time remembering, because you are not prepared to face what you will be facing, because it could be a lot. And by this, I don't mean that only the ones who have their heart open will remember. No, we all can remember, heart open or not, non heart open. The thing is how you will process it. If your heart is not opened, you will suffer it a big time. You could suffer it a big time. Why? Because you're not coming from a unified consciousness. Therefore, there is a lot of emotions going on, a lot of identification to, like, to the drama of what happened. So when you are already coming from that space of the heart, of course it moves. Nevertheless, you are capable to see it as information that now you are partially or fully embodying, and that you require it to actually fulfill your mission this lifetime, not to convert yourself in your memory, yet to bring the codes of that memory to become, to continue becoming, and to be the most evolved expression of yourself. And that's very related to the whole of records and under the Sphinx. There are many things going underground the Sphinx, under the Sphinx, not only the whole of records. Like, that point is huge, not for any given reason. It's the center of the whole world, So, and I'm not saying like culturally speaking, or because the Giza pyramids are very beautiful. No, I'm geologically speaking, geographically speaking. It's the center. If you unfold the world into a map, that's the center, the Giza plateau. So what's going on there, it's very, very, very important. And when we connect with the whole of records, when we are there, then we'll see that there are not books, there are crystals. And those crystals are reflecting into your own crystals. Which crystals? When we energetically activate our DNA into its luminous state, and they become octahedrons and start spinning as crystals, then we receive that illumination. But one thing that I want to share, and one of my experiences in the Sphinx, because it took me, like, with very few words, to the most humble awareness of. So I was under the Sphinx. I had the opportunity to go under the Sphinx, and in between her or its left paw, like the back leg, and its tail, there is an entrance there. So I was there, and I was there for, the time allowed. And I was in a womb. It's a type of womb. I was with a dress. Why not? Because something happens there that we want to use dresses all the time, So I was wearing a dress, and all the soil was very humid. So I bent, I crouched down to touch the soil, to give thank you to the soil, and to the Sphinx, and connect, touch it, feel it. So I put my hand on the soil, and I uncovered a little bit of it, and there were larvae and cockroaches. So that's the least thing that you would probably think that you will find there, you know,
Mhm.
like cockroaches and larves. So I
Okay.
was like, so I breathed deeply in, and then I said, okay, I asked myself, why am I manifesting this? So a lot of thoughts related to, okay, you're wearing a dress, you know, like those cockroaches can surely go up into your dress and
Right.
larves and so forth. So then I stayed there and then I said, I'm breathing it in, I'm staying, and I stay connected to the walls of the Sphinx inside that womb. So then I focus there, and a lot of things happened. I won't say it all, it would take, you know, like a lot. Yet, what I will say is that this huge voice profoundly came to me and told me, the day that you accept yourself and see the beauty in yourself, like you have done with me right now, that day you will achieve unity. And it was such a simple yet profound message because that's what I did. You know, I accepted what was there, I breathed it in, and allow me to connect what had brought me there. And how many times, and this is the message for all the audience, that how many times are we distracted by things that we create as tests to keep focused on what is truly there for us to become that unity.
Mhm.
And why would unity be so important? Because when we remember what unity is, then we remember why we are here for.
Exactly. I purely agree, and I agree about the words which you say from the voice you heard. But from my experience, the hardest part of opening heart, it's not to forgive someone for they did to you, but to forgive yourself for you did to them, to see the God and the beauty of God inside of you. Because when you faced everything wrong which you did, it was the hardest part for me at that stage to see like, but I cannot see the God in myself. I know I did a lot of bad things in life. I mean, for sure, I'm not like kill someone, but I mean, when you betray somebody because your fear, because your program of deficits, you you understand it was betray of God, because when you betray somebody you betray of God, and then you are like disappointed so much in yourself. And this is a point to forgive yourself as well and to see the beauty which you see in a sphinx, in a God, in others, in yourself, and then you can go in this unifying. It's totally, you know, it's so amazing that we was in different trips but we was in one trip. That we are, that everything's we, it's actually the first time when we together really discuss our experience in Egypt. So
Yeah.
I discover it with the audience, your experience, you discover my experience with the audience at the same moment. And it's so amazing to understand that it doesn't matter from which countries we are, which background we have. which instruments even we used. If you're connected with your truth, if you're connected with your soul, with your body, you will feel and experience the same thing, but each of us their own way. And this is so beautiful. This is a unify. This is the idea of unify, that we all one, but each of us is unique. And we cannot close our eyes. This is from what we started, yes, when I said that the correct way is your way. Because from these ways, the God living, the exclusive part. You cannot live other lives. And there you feel it so much, because there you feel how everybody in the group is actually like one organism, like one sacred geometry form, and everybody in their own place. Each time we came to Egypt with the group, I'm wondering, with my head, it's impossible to choose these people from the billions who are exactly the couples, exactly the peoples who face their previous life together. But the soul is feeling that you have to come, that your guys will be there. And when you're waking up, you just discover, oh my God, like this is my real sister. Like this is my, I don't, sometime you can feel your real like parents, let's say, that somebody who was connecting with you in this level. And this is so amazing. I would like to share as well my experience in Hathor temple, because this is one of the strongest place in Egypt as well. And I could say that the even the ground there is like vibrating. It is if you're standing on a reactive some generator, because it's really vibrating the land there, everything there. It's amazing place. And I know that you were there in this small chambers, which is closed normally, where it was the most like important part of ceremony. And it's one of the most like bright my memory about Hathor, because Hathor she's also linked a lot with the voice, and voice and the chakra of your voice. And it means that it's linked with your capacity to perform in life. And we had one girl in expedition who was who had a big problem with talking, like she couldn't say the words. She was so shy permanently. And we did reality show from our spiritual experience in Egypt. So each time we switch on the camera, she couldn't talk. Even in normal life without camera, it was really like big problem for her to talk, to explain what she feeling, to explain what she see. And she has very good capacity with connecting with herself. She see a lot of things, but she couldn't speak. And after we did some ceremonies there, which is called the opening of the mouth of goddess and one of the place of the temple, the reaction, the result of this is was so bright and so visually that everybody was saying, oh my God, how it's possible. Like we did after this interview, she shared her experience, and she talks so well, it's fluent so easily, as if she's professional TV host. And all the groups eyes like this and say, oh my God, because the difference was so huge. And this is how it works there. Like whereas we normally can spend a lot of times there, it can happen very easily, because it's not like linear part, it's just opening other capacities in you. And it was an amazing experience from the group which we all faced. For me, it was mostly about like calming the frequency of Hathor. And this is a pure love, feminine energy, so beautiful. If I can paint it, I would paint it in pink for sure, because this is really like pure femininity, very, very sweet, very, very nice, but which has also other part, which is Sekhmet. But there in Hathor, I mostly feel her part of Hathor, like let's say her white part, and less her Sekhmet part. For my experience, I don't know how from yours, but from my yes. But this femininity, it's not mean that it's weak. It's super powerful, really, like the all the temple is vibrating, but it's so soft at the same time. And this was beautiful lesson how the big power can go with this softness, with this kindness, with this love. It's so amazing. You can just stay there and like teaching from her, learning from her just through this vibration, make it go through your body. And this was wow, something very beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. The Vendetta Hathor's temple is like the from 100% of people that I know and that I have asked them, which is their favorite temple, like 90% has said Vendetta, which is the Hathor temple, and I will explain a little bit why from my experience.
Mm-hmm.
First, I just, and thank you for bringing this up. I just want to say that just to in relation to the Sphinx, um, the the whole story, like I just explained to you, when it says or shared, actually, um, the cockroach also has the power to be very resilient. Like it can take nuclear
Yes.
weapons and it will prevail. So sometimes we flow with what is in the field instead of connecting with the depth of the meaning of something, because we just put labels on it. So when we're free from those labels, then we're just co-creating with all the frequencies that are being given to us. And that is also another aspect of unity, because you have
Mm-hmm.
detached from everything imprinted on everything. You're just bringing in a new sense to everything and creating this beautiful symphony, which now leads me to what we were talking about, Hathor. Hathor for me, and the Hathorians, all these beautiful beings, they are they're very much into sound, into frequency, energy, and vibration. Every time I go there, it's like I just want to chant. It's like no one can stop
Yeah.
me, and thankfully, no one has. It's like at least they enjoy it. So then everything is aligned. So I feel I'm like nonstop humming, unless I'm truly going deep within some codes, because I understood what that through our voice, through our frequency, we are activating the glyphs at many levels within our DNA. So that's why, like every time I go, I'm activating in that way, even dancing as well. But it's mostly about my voice. And it's a beautiful, expansive wave of love, you know indeed. That temple opens up your heart at another level. Like for instance, if we say that the Sphinx, it is at a very humble level, like this is it, this is who you are, whether you accept it or not, and make the most
Yes.
beautiful creation from it by recognizing what is truth and what is not. You start being from
Yes.
here
Exactly.
right now, a new you, or the original you. So, and then Hathor would be more about that. Not once you have you're holding you are shaping yourself, you are calling in your wisdom through the heart, You are allowing for all the information to blossom, as Torah says, within you, and
Mm.
then expand it, because also the birds are there and they respond at you, back at you, and then you chant, and then the birds, and then you have all this majestic experience where you're in heaven. You're in heaven. And we can say this is because one of the reasons, it's not only due to the frequency of Hathor or the Hathorians, which is a big part of it. It's also about what's under the temple. And under the temple, there is another temple, the original one. And then
Yes.
there is also an underground city, but that's at another dimension. And the beings there are linked to the Hathorians, the ones that stayed here. And it has a Stargate, and then it's connecting so to the place where the Hathorians are, to that ninth dimension. So this is why we feel a lot of love, because we are talking about this, let's say, well, in between ninth and seventh dimension, we're talking about these levels of consciousness that you are actually shaping, being that creator. This is why also there are a lot of images of Isis and Hathor bringing in the babies, like the humans, creating them, and Honsu and other gods, well, Netherus, because it's a place for creation, for alchemical creation through love and regeneration, restoration, as you said. And I have had some epic experiences there in that Stargate where the Mamisis is. Like that is a Stargate. And you can actually open it and you can connect with the beings that are as a honeycomb. You can bring them in through expanding your field and reaching into where they are at. So it's like calling them in, because that's another level of being in that chamber, bringing in all the consciousnesses that are there, because it's like a council. You will see them like, who's calling me? Like the telephone ringing, ring, ring. Who's calling me now? Oh, it's YssaH. Okay, let's go. And then they they attend. That was a huge integration. It took me like a week without moving. I was out of the body. Like I was for a week out of the body. But anyway, yeah. So
Yes, after my last Egypt of trip also put me in the bed for some days to make me just realize everything what's happening, and it's a so big volume of energy of vision is coming that it's good that we share it, with our audience, so they can be ready for it and not be scared. Don't be scared. You're not going crazy. You will integrate it with your ego, with your
yes,
person, and then you will live your life as you are, but already to experience it and to integrate it in your life. Because when it's happened with me for first time, sometimes you like a little bit, oh my god, I will lose myself, I cannot manage it. But don't you worry, you will manage, just you need time, because it's something much bigger, much stronger than you faced before, but it's just a question on time. And I know that also some people are very scared from such an experience of connecting with other civilizations or with your own in other dimensions. And sometimes they mix it up with like spirits, like demons who can come inside of you. Oh, look, they come around.
or
and
balloons. Or you
I
can have
want,
balloons. You don't know.
but and I want to say that it. Sometimes people ask me how you can be sure that it's not like the spirits who come inside of you, because I know what I feel, because I can see the people who have it inside, and this is totally different experience. I mean, like It's you will feel, you will see, you will uh, talk and everything, whatever you can do, and it's obvious when you are really facing it. It's obvious for you that you are facing it. You will not have this question. If you cannot control, rule, if you don't understand what's going on, you will also understand that something wrong. I mean, like, at these places, I don't have examples where somebody face something like really like spirits who come and try to get your body. No, but I have a lot of people who face the experience with a connection with their own or with other civilization, but it was on safety way. Because as we said, this is dimensions are higher than our, and it can happen only if your heart is open. So after you going through these beautiful processes, you connecting there. It's impossible you connected with something like low or dark or bad. Even all these words, it still exists in our planet, in our world, where we split everything on black and white, on good or bad. There it's different. It's just union. So don't be scared, just try.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yes.
agree.
Your experience with the Hathor is amazing. I'm sorry to interrupt. I would like to hear more what you said there.
No, 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 not at all. I was just saying that I agree, like it's just fear trying to interfere with you achieving your greatness. Because regardless, like when you open your field to fear, then you can perfectly manifest things that will continue perpetrating for you to feel, believe in fear. However, and this is one of the things that these places show to us, yeah, there is a lot going on there. However, it's about what you focus on. That is because even if something comes towards you that perhaps it's not very comfortable, you have the power to deal with it. You have the power to resolve it. And that could be actually one of the next steps for you to reach a higher level in relation and in alignment to your
Mhm.
evolutive purpose. And if you put in a scale, like whether if you hold back and fear from your from surrendering to your power or embracing it, whatever you choose will tell you whether if you're ready or not. And if you're
Yes.
ready, then you have everything that you need to be not only safe, yet to enjoy the process.
Yes. Of course.
Yes. Uh, well, no, I was just saying, like about Hathor, that experience that was really beautiful. In ISIS, I do want to share this because I do believe it shows how we can alchemize our reality at many levels. So I went with three friends, one woman and other two male friends. So we were two and two, you know? And why not? I chose to bring a big green
Mhm.
sphere. At the middle of the day in ISIS, they
Mm.
allow me to go with the sphere. Yet, as soon as inside the temple, I took I took it out, and you had me with my big sphere, like very evident. It's not like you can have it in your hand and you're, like going here. No, a big sphere. And I was there. It was not a private visit, it was in the middle of the day. And a lot of people, I started to magnetize a lot of people with that field, like positive, non very positive, like, what are you doing? This is a Muslim country, like you cannot
Mhm.
bring your, like, nobody said it that literally, but a lot of the religious beliefs came through. A lot of people, even Muslims, came and saying, you cannot say that to her, she can do whatever she wants. And I was really not paying attention to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
My awesome friends were there talking to them and dealing with them, but I would just go, like I was just from a full place of coherence, and 0 point energy. So I was just walking, doing my thing at an energetic level, and then a policeman would come towards me and tell me, "Hey, hey," like how they start, "Hey, like you cannot do this," and I was just not opening my field. I wouldn't even look them in the eye, and just would just do my thing, and they would be like, "What's going on?" But they wouldn't do more. Long story short, a Muslim woman came and was so pissed that she wanted to take us out of the temple, which was really like that point where you see, wow, this is a temple for the feminine, for, like, and it's the very same woman that is oppressing that place because you cannot express yourself. So then I started to tune into layers of information, and I was saying the consciousness of Isis has been trapped in that cube under in the Mecca. So, and it has been being harvested to actually continue making the energy flow at so many levels. And it's not because of something negative about any religion. It's just about configuration and usage of energy, like from this unified consciousness. But it was really clear for me that something needed to be done. And that I was really doing something way bigger than just, like passing myself with a green sphere all over the Isis temple just to create, like to call in attention. No. So after the woman finished talking, I look at her in the eyes, and I was barely talking. I was not, like everyone would talk, and I would just look her in the eye, and I told her, "Can I hug you?" And then she was like, "Yes." And then I hugged her, and I just told her, "Thank you." And then when we finished hugging, she just looked at me and went away. And then I told everyone it's done. So we started singing a song that we, as a gang, used to sing in that trip. The policemen were singing with us all over the place. Like if someone had seen that, like that scenario would have said like, "What's going on? That's a musical," and those are hired people, and like everyone is acting there. Like the policemen were singing with us, and we were clapping, and and it was so much joy and love there, and a huge surrender and loosing of the chains of that restriction, of that elephant that had for so many years that chain to his or her to its leg, that when it's removed it keeps on feeling that the chain is there. So all those chains were released from that field. And yeah, I thank you. Thank you. It had been a while since I didn't remember of that one. Thank you.
And when you was telling the story, I remember once which happened with us. It's crazy how it's similar, but it's happened not at Hathor. but in Assyrian. Assyrian is a place where Isis found the head of Osiris, and it's a place when you have this resurrection uh, mystery, which you have like so what's happened, and this is a place also where we was there in a solstice exactly at the time when exactly at the moment when the sun taking a power from the darkness. So at the place, at the time where this mysterious of the fight of black and white happening. Okay, so imagine when we arrive here was a group of girls and we start to dance, and when you dance sometimes your voice is released, you want to scream, you want to shout, and the Syrian is not like other temple, it's open, it's inside and it's open. And of course there is the people around because we're in the moment of solstice and it's like maybe 12 o'clock daytime, a lot of kids. This is Abydos, amazing place, one of the most powerful also in my opinion. So the policemen come and start to say, no, no, absolutely not. We have a private because actually Assyrian is closed. You cannot go inside at all. It's not like other temple at all. So we have to pay to and have agreement that we will have access. But still, even if you go there in private, they want to show up as if it is like normal you visit, you will not do something wrong. And imagine 20 girls who is shaking, moving, sound, they was like totally shocked. They say, impossible, you did this here, impossible, we will block you. I say, okay, okay, I understand, I understand. And it was so, they push us so much with guns, really with guns. They say that you cannot all in black. We all in white, they all in black. So it's really like spectacular. Like really, you want to program, you will not program it. And they push us, they say, you cannot stay here, you cannot stay there, you cannot, you cannot. And I started to understand it's not by luck happening. And they said to us, you can go only at this place. And I actually was not expecting to go and to do this part of practice in this place. But they push us. And then when we come, I again feel this, like the land is vibrating. I was like, whoa, what an amazing place. They push us to go. And we start to practice there. And it was one of the most important part of all our trip, and it wasn't the full darkness because it's a closed part of this temple, and this is the part where the other women god is there, is a nut, and nut energy is like the ocean of everything. It is the place where you can really connect it with your darkness, and through this darkness can be born the new sun, the new light from the very longest and darkest night of the year is burning a new hope, a new life, a new part of you. It's so beautiful. And this is at this day happening. So all this happening, and we go out to finish the process, and then it's like a miracle happen. The guy who was pushing us so much and say you cannot, and we just standing with the sun at solid days, all in white, all connected with the heart, and I continue to connect everybody with a other dimension. And all these guys with guns, they keep silence, they don't move, they don't disturb us anymore, they stay like this, and even scared to breathe because this moment was so pure, so beautiful, like really from all this negativity, darkness push, like when your energy tried to be like catched with and after this the main guy who was like on charge of ruling, he take my hand, and he's a Muslim, he actually cannot doing this, but he take my hand and he put my hand in his chest, and I put, and we were standing just like this to feel in heart of each other, and he had the tears on his eyes, and he said, Diana, I know what you're doing here. I know it is very beautiful. I know you're helping people for open heart. I know you're doing it with the respect of our real culture, of our real history, of the real sense of this place. And it was so beautiful. You know how your
Yeah.
open heart can really change people immediately, and somebody who was pushing you, they was for us at this moment like guards. Before, they was like somebody who is hate us, who try to disturb
Yeah.
us, to destroy us, and they changed to our guards, like that everything can happen. It was wow, so beautiful that it's happening like this, as it's changing the, like it's rebuilt it and make it work again how it must work these places. This is amazing. So thankful for you that you did this amazing things in Hathor and open these channels to others.
Actually, that was one. That one was in ISIS. The one that
Ah,
I
in ISIS,
the
yes.
sphere. Yeah, yeah. And there are so many stories, and this, sometimes experiencing that will give you the idea of how deep it is,
Yeah.
because you are not just interacting with angry guards. No, they are consciousness showing the energy of the land, of the man, of the not all the man. I must clarify, because there are very open-minded, beautiful men that are holding the space for the women, and they are majestic. I love you guys. I love you, my family there. Uh, Yet for the ones that are playing the role, of this oppressive figure with guns, mostly in Abydos, because Abydos is like the what you see. Abydos is super powerful, yet, and it's the Cyrus place and this beautiful masculine energy. However, outside, there is like this masculine that is, like all the time, like wearing guns and protecting. And of course, they are protecting very important things that are in that place, but that's another topic. But anyway, so if people say that you experience that, and this is why I was telling, it could be overwhelming if you don't have your heart open. Because when you have your heart open, like in the examples that we have been given, you are going beyond the character that is actually a test for you to see how you're going to deal with that creation. And when you reach that heart space, magic like this happens.
It's true.
And of course, in Egypt is way much faster. It's like you haven't even finished talking when it's already done. And I was like, wait, I was just thinking about that, like in a way faster level. Yet it shows to us how we can create in this reality. So there are very simple principles, simple, but it all comes to the heart and the alignment of when you remember your power. It's like the sun. It's know how to use your energy. The sun doesn't need to go out there saying to the whole solar system, hey guys, I'm the sun, look at me. I'm so beautiful. I have so much shine. No, the sun is just the sun. And it's being his presence beaming all that life force. So I do believe that is very much what we are invited to embody every day, just being our true essence without needing to impose ourselves to anyone, or the reality will show us imposition. It's just about being who we are, and our reality will start reflecting that back at us. And I do want to thank you for all the work that you're doing at so many levels, not only in Egypt, in Russia, and everywhere where you're going to. You were recently in Iran, and that was awesome.
Amazing trip.
I I
I
know
left
that.
there some presents which you asked me to left.
Thank you, thank you. I know that at some point we will be uh, in the same land physically and sharing and doing our magic together. And yeah, so thank you again for everything that you're doing. Thank you to all the women that you're bringing, and perhaps at some point men that you will be bringing. It's very profound, and we can see it how every time that we go and bring groups and do our things and do all these deep connections, it's already being shown in what's happening in the Middle East. I do believe that unity, like it's coming from there. As we can say that uh, galactic connections, with the ETs is coming from America, like the whole continent of America. Uh, that's the role of America. The role of Middle East is unity. Like reaching that unity. Of course, there are many things going on there, and in Russia, what I think that it's coming now, it's this. Uh, uh, if I could say in a word, it would be showing everyone who you truly are. And then that truly are is, like, wow, okay. So it was perhaps not what was expected, but it's amazing actually. It's like that truth of saying, wow, okay, that's awesome. I told you I have always had a very, very, like a very beautiful connection with Russia. So,
I'm waiting for you here.
oh,
Now is a beautiful time to come.
yes, yes, let's manifest that. Okay, so thank you.
Or
I'm
maybe
sorry.
we meet again in Egypt.
Yes,
Or maybe we meet again in Egypt because I'm planning to go again in December and holidays. So maybe you join or you bring your group. It will be amazing.
yes, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Egypt is calling, like I have had a lot of people
It's
telling me,
calling.
sister, okay, let's go to Egypt. So, yeah, I'll be there soon. I know my heart is being, like, okay. Yeah, yes,
Amazing place. It's true.
yes.
Thank you so much for this streaming to
Thank
for this
you.
opportunity to talk with you and with the audience about very important things because for everybody, for everyone here, it can be, some step, something new which will burn in your heart and which will bring all of us closer to the unity. And this is a target.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Thank you so much for being here with me, with us. And yeah, may this be just the first one from many more to come. And in the meantime, because as we will also be meeting physically at some point. And thank you again so much for what you're doing. And I hug you. I hug you a big, big hug. And thank you. Love you. And thank you, everyone, for all your beautiful comments. And I'm glad that you enjoyed it. There were
Thank
very beautiful
you.
comments from everyone. So until next time, HUNUH. Thank you.